6 weeks ago, we showed you a demo plot out here in Nabitu in Sigatoka. And we were just planting the seeds at that time. We weren't actually doing any harvesting or anything. But 6 weeks after that, our farmer Joe, has been able to harvest something. Now, before I show you the results of this demo plot and what the difference between the Agchem side and the farmer's practice side looks like, we're gonna visit the farmer's field day first and just get to hear from them. And you know what's really surprising is how many farmers have actually turned up for this event after they've seen the results of this demo plot. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere, you don't want to miss this. Around 6 weeks ago, we visited Farmer Joe's farm in Nabitu to start a demo vegetable plot with cucumber and eggplant to witness a side-by-side demonstration of two types of farming practices. The first side featured how farmers would normally practice, and the second side where Agchem showed us how they sustainably practice with the right agro inputs. After Farmer Joe had completed his land prep, the team went down to take a soil pH reading. After determining the soil was acidic, they put together a program for Farmer Joe to follow that would help him harvest some off-season veggies. With the help of liquid lime and the sustainable Tay blend as the base fertilizer, Joe was off to a great start. On the other side, the plot was left as is and Joe continued to plant the way he would normally practice. While it was a little harder for the resident farmers to believe that the crops would thrive in the rainy monsoon season, they eagerly awaited the results of the plots to see how the crops would do. Before we show you the results, Celestino Manda, who is the Agchem warehouse manager and chemicals expert, explains why and how the Agchem side practice showed clearer results during the demo farming.
Why we selected cucumber, because it's a crop that only can be harvested within 10 weeks. But for me, it was a challenge that day when KK Zadwe mentioned that you can start picking from 6 weeks. And that's exactly what happened here. It's a confirmation that, no, it's a new variety. Most of you farmers haven't tried it. But the beauty about this variety is that you can early harvest. And if you can prolong your harvesting, it will be a bonus for you guys. And what we have worked with, so I really thank MDF and Fiji TV and KK Sadwe for working with us on this, because soil acidity is an issue with farmers, not only here in Sigatoka Valley, it's everywhere in Fiji. You'll keep on increasing your fertilizer application, you'll keep on using chemicals, and everyone here knows that in Sigatoka is well known for chemical cocktail. Believe me, I know. When I clean the sprays, I know how many chemicals inside that spray, because I do the mixing of chemicals and I can tell the different smell. You guys doing that because you want to solve your problem with pests, insects. And you have disease. Sometimes you have disease and you use the wrong chemical. So your money is wasted. That's we were in a school, in a training school in Nambak about this identification. And this is just a simple practice we did here on Joe's farm with this variety of cucumber. When we started, this was the main issue, soil acidity. When you have soil acidity, you'll have insect problem and you'll have disease problem. Those two things will be sure. And off-season, you know, more rain. So weed control will also be a problem, because most of the time rain. And if you spray in the morning, by lunchtime, it starts raining here in Nabitu. So you'll juggle with all these problems trying to get a good crop, especially during the off-season. And if you can do something to get a good return during the off-season when the price is good for you farmers, there'll be a bonus. So when I tested this field, we did soil testing, pH testing. The lowest reading was 3.2. and the highest was 5.2. And cucumber need a pH range from 6 to 7. So his reading was low. That's why we use lime that, for you guys who were here during the first field day. Half of the field we did with the Agchem practice. As you open the rows, we spray the lime, liquid lime. See, the liquid lime was mixed at a rate of 10 mils into 1 liter water. So if it's a 16 liter, it's just 160 ml. Spread along the rows. He dropped the seeds. Because you guys have been using hydrocomplex, NPK, Blancy, whatever fertilizer you're using. For you to go from that using chemical fertilizer, Massima, you can't go straight into organic. You won't be able to get a good result. You need a transitional phase where you switch over slowly. The thing is, the mineral-based fertilizer has a lot of nutrients that the plant needs. And it has the carbon coating that feeds the microorganism in the soil. With the TT blend, it has both. The NPK is chemical, Massima, but it's coated with organic carbon. Not only NPK, plus 13 micronutrients. So altogether, 16 different nutrients. So the plant will be able to feed on it properly and grow properly. If the plant gets all its nutrient requirement from the soil, it will be able to grow better. And the brix level in the plant, the natural sugar content of the plant will be high. With that, Manu won't eat the plant. So you solve the insect problem, less insecticide, and the plant will also be able to resist disease infestation. So less fungicide. So that way you decrease, you cut down your production cost by using less of those two. And those two are toxic. Believe me, insect problem, now we're trying to get some more organic insecticide. But right now, the best solution is toxic chemicals. Disease, best solution is toxic chemicals. You're trying to cut it down to get a good crop. And by doing that, you have to address your problem, Mr. Soil. Once you fix your soil, half of your problem is gone. So what we did with Joe when planting, we apply that and we drop the TT blend. So the acidity was its pH was low. So that's where we put our plant together for that practice. And keep in mind, we're planting in the off season, more rain. You'll have more rain, which means you'll have disease problem. Fungus will always thrive in rainy season. And Manu will always come, because whatever you spray, the Manu knows when it rains, it get washed off. Remember those small creatures sitting there, they are living creatures. They do communicate with each other, and they know. If you spray another chemical is there, they come and eat. Chemical is there, they'll always come in. The scout, they'll always send a scout to check. And if a rain, it's supposed to be 7 days, and if you have rain within 3 days after the application, the scout always come and check after the rain. They'll say, oh, all the chemical gone, so they come back and feed. This is how you monitor and counter your insect infestation. With Joe, we did a spray of insecticide only 3 times. If you don't monitor, you wait for the when you walk into the field, you see plenty more money there, then that's a heavy infestation. That's why when you spray one chemical, it might not be not even 50% the result. So you use another one plus 1 gives you 2, and go on. Some people doing 3, 4, 5, to try and get rid of the manuman. But the solution is you go in early. Only if you manu you less spray. With him, we did only 3 sprays of insecticide. But our problem, my main concern with him was this: I told him, you better stick to the timetable of fungicide. See, fungicide for disease control is more like a preventative measure, because fungi is within the plant system. Right? It's like when you're suffering from flu, you go and see the doctor, give the prescription for the antibiotics. Go to the pharmacy, buy the antibiotics. You drink 1 every 8 hours until you finish, because it helps your system fights off the disease, the virus inside. Same concept with the disease on the crop. He started spraying at week 2 when the first true leaf opens. And it was sprayed every 2 weeks. But since it was heavy rain in Nabitu from planting till now, what we did, we do alternation. We use 2 fungicides. We use Coside first for anthracnose. Anthracnose gives that small yellow spots on the leaf. It also gives those spots on the fruit as well when it matures. And we use Sandomil in between. So we use Coside this week, next week we spray Sandomil. Then Coside next week. We only do 2 sprays of Coside and 2 sprays of Sandomil. Cycle, 1 week. And the biggest advantage was the liquid lime and the Protect Citrus, the soil activator. The field lines that was on the ground, when it heavy rain, the water comes in, flows over, then it does. The only good thing that the water doesn't remain there for more than 1 day. It came in, then goes out. But 2 days after the rain, he called me, hey, this line on the ground is turning a little bit brownish. Thing might die. Tell him, you got your lime. Afternoon, spray your lime on that. See, that's one good thing about lime. You can spray on the soil as a soil conditioner to help neutralize your pH. But you can also spray on the crop. It becomes a direct source of calcium for the crop. It helps build strong cell wall development within the plant root system, the stem, the leaf. So the plant will be able to withstand excess waterlogging. So after 1 week of spraying, he called me, this one looking better now, dark green and shiny. And he's still picking from that lot. So that's what happens. It supplements the fungicide application, because it becomes a direct food for the plant. And in between the fungicide, he spread the foliar. Most of you know the foliar. That's the beauty about this liquid lime. Eh?
Coming up, the man himself, Farmer Joseph Hill, shares his experience with us and we get a glimpse of the results.
But there's one thing. The one thing we're a bit slow that we found out. And you plant crops like cucumber, long bean, Karela. In the off-season, you need to do staking, like raised bed and staking, whether you do sticks or you do netting. For this, when we do the netting, when we discussed, okay, we do netting. The plant is already 1.5 meters. So we were a bit slow on applying the netting. So we put 3 rows on netting, 4 rows on netting and 1 on the ground. Those 2 on the ground that have problem and no, because it's on the surface when the heavy rain comes in. So what really helps us with that is the lime. Every time the water goes out, goes in, spray the lime. So the crop keep on growing in. So it was able to withstand that waterlogging. If we didn't do liming, we would already lose that crop. Only the ones in the netting would have been. But the lime, when we do lime, we did it on all. On the one on the ground and the one that's already on netting. And the beauty about liming, you can spray the leaf, the whole plant, the leaf right to the root. So it absorbs by the leaf, whatever goes in the ground will be absorbed by the root system. And that's what we have witnessed. And this is the fruit that is picking. And he's still picking. He's already picked 33 bags.
Already having harvested 33 bags of cucumber, Farmer Joe took the visiting farmers for a tour and also shared with us his experience.
I did a very good harvest during this climate, so I'm very happy with what I have with what harvest I've got. It is on off-season on cucumber right now. Right now, many people will really find difficult to plant cucumber right now because it's too much rain. because we are on a rainy season right now. The demo plot that we had here was really excellent. It's really good, and the demonstration, the demo that we had today was it really gives me more help, and it's been proved. So it's been witnessed. So everybody has witnessed today that we got it. It has 100% of my harvest in this demo plot. So the Agchem side, you have to use the right chemical for your farming, but you really need to work onto that. The main thing, you really need to work onto that, and try to follow instruction. What extraction was being advised to you, so try to make use of that advice.
Yeah.
So what I get from the result from the Agchem side, I got it 100% of my harvest. But from the farmer side, I get I never got really 100%, but yet I have earned something. I've got something from there.
Okay.
Yes.
How many bags would you say you've been able to harvest from each side?
From the Agchem side, I've already harvested about 18 bags, and the farmer side, I already harvested about 15 bags. I had a lot of fungus, so it was a really bad damage. But well, it's good, so that we can know what other farmers should do, and during this rainy season time. So what they have to improve from what do you do and what to get. Right now, it's a big doubt. Yeah, it's rainy season, and they never believe that the cucumber has grown very well and even given a very good fruit. It's really hanging there. You can see it's really hanging there. It's really looking nice, and it's really good. We got the quality. So as I can say, we got the quality, and the quality is there. So everybody, it's amazing that it's a surprise for them that we still can harvest during rainy season.
And just like Farmer Joe, you can also have a reason to smile by following the simple programs the team at Agchem can help put together for you. Sayed tells us more.
The result is already here. And since, like Joe said earlier, you have to follow the instruction. The product works on its own. So you have to spray on the right time, need the right equipment, and the dosage, you should follow that. So if you spray the product on the right time, you'll definitely get the result, a good result, 100% germination, and 100%, the result will be 100%.
So can you tell me, just run me through which products were used?
In our first farmers field day, we tested the soil with the pH meter. The soil was acidic.
Yeah.
As you can see, farmers here in Nabitu, they mostly depend on the chemical fertilizers.
Yeah.
And the soil was acidic, and for cucumber the best pH is from 6 to 8. So once the soil, the plot was prepared well, then we spray with the lime. So lime actually increases the pH level, and instead of like Joe used NPK in his farmer's practice, and we used Tete blend.
Yeah.
And then once it was covered, then we sprayed with Activate. 3-4 days we can see the cucumbers coming up, and farmers say it took about 5 days, 6 days to germinate. It's just because when the seeds sprout, it has the fertilizers and the nutrients available for them to feed and grow.
Yeah.
But for the farmers practices, the soil was acidic, and despite soil being acidic, he used NPK. So it's sort of slow growth. And he's also applied the black urea. That's the carbon coat urea. There's the normal urea that's been coated with organic carbon, so it stays longer compared to the normal urea.
Yeah.
So that it was applied 2 weeks after planting. That's when the crop is in a vegetative state. They need something like urea to boost the plant up. And then he applied the Tete blend fertilizer as a side dress. That was when the crop reached the flowering stage. And he also, one thing good about Joe, that Joe, he does his monitoring. He came to the field and he saw the insect problem, then he called us and we advised him which chemical to use. So he applied the insecticide at an early stage when the infestation was very low. So he went he applied about 2 or 3 times, and that's it. And he applied the fungicide. Actually we recommend farmers to apply the fungicide once every 2 weeks. But since we are in the cyclone season, so we advise him to apply the fungicide once a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he followed what we said, And no, he sprayed the fungicide on time, the insecticide on time, the fertilizers on time. So now we can see the result here.
Yeah.
He's happy. No marks, good looking, no deformities.
Yeah.
Farmer's practice, he harvested 15 bags. Out of 15 bags, 5 was damaged. Though he managed to sell the damaged one, but it was it was no deformities, the marks on the
Yeah.
cucumber, no. So sometimes when the crop is not, the fruit is not good looking, so the price comes down, eh. But if you have something like this, you can always stick to your price.
Yeah.
Yeah. The quality matters, eh.
Yeah.
Coming up next, Manda explains the major differences between the two sides and why the Agchem plot turned out to be more successful.
I just want to emphasize on what Joe and Fazil has already told you, but it's interesting working with this crop during this cyclone season. If you recall, that day we were doing the planting, some of those farmers, especially the older guys, they were saying that this will fail because they know the weather here. None of them is planting cucumber. They said, Jesus. For me, when Kavit said that this variety can start harvesting at week 6 after planting, I was a bit skeptical as well, because I know cucumber was supposed to go for 10 weeks. And just because of the variety, it's so good that Joe started harvesting exactly at week 6 after planting. But the problem here, if you see this is from the farmer's practice. So he applies the normal chemical fertilizer, NPK and urea, and he doesn't have any fungicide treatment, not sure whether he does any insecticide spraying. But on Agchem side, with the product used to address the issue of soil fertility and acidity in the soil, plus the application of fungicides and insecticides at the right timing. Just look at these two crops. Look at it. It's the disease really affects even the size. Just look at the size. He's speaking from week 6 after planting up till now. Agchem side is all this size, and some of the crops in there are bigger than this. Believe me, I was here last week. I picked one bigger than this, and I thought it's over matured because the other normal variety that we planted, if it's this big, by the time you break it, you can see the seed is matured. But for that one, believe me, when I break it, the seed is still young, so it's not yet matured. And the taste is very good. And this proves the quality of the product he used. And we must compliment Joe for his hard work during the rainy season. It's still rainy, clouds are gathering now. Normally it's sunshine in the morning, heavy rain in the evening. And he does his spraying at night when it's good weather, when it's time to spray. He sprays at night. Insecticide, foliar, and he's reaping the benefit. He's getting 100% harvest on cucumber. And this is an eye-opener to all the farmers in this area, that it can be done despite the weather condition to counter the climate change. We have the product to address the issue. The only thing farmer has to work out on and stick to the program. Despite the current weather pattern, the changing weather, we still can make it. And for them to be able to capitalize on this, while the price of the crop is still way up there. Imagine that's a bonus for them, and that's what they want, to get a good price. And this is a living proof of what we have done today. And hats off to Joe for his hard work. I mean, we give him the program, but hard work is his. He's the one who's here 24/7, morning, day and night, rain, sunshine. He's doing the hard work. So, talking to KK Salve on the seeds, I mean, they are interested and they are willing to work with him on some high value crop from now on. And imagine if he does this in the season and the weather is good. And this has given him a good platform to prepare him towards the next cyclone season. So he can plant in advance. By the time we go into cyclone season, all he's be doing is harvesting. And he'll be capitalizing on the high price during the cyclone season. So it'll be a big advantage to him. We talked to him last week and he said, you know what? Now my brains are filled with information. Before, He always take. I always talk to him about lime, like what he said. He didn't take it seriously. It's a good thing that we come in and work with him and show him exactly what lime does. Because I've been telling him about lime ever since he started farming here. But he's a hardworking farmer, and he has seen firsthand what the lime has done. And not only on that, he has applied lime on eggplant, on long bean. He's never seen the way the long bean is fruiting. Now, before all his planting, even his wife told me, we have never seen the way the crop is fruiting. That's just the benefit of the quality of the product. So hats off to him and good luck. So at least we can advise farmers, challenge them. It can be done. Nothing is impossible. They just have to stick to the program.
It is possible. It is possible. So we have to follow sometimes the instruction from like Agchem what is given us, and we have to follow those instructions. So it build up our farm style. So if you have a build up our farm style, if you can see the fruit is there, so the harvest is there. So everybody is watching at the harvest, so you can see the cucumber is hanging there. So right now, it's already on the market. So everybody is wanting cucumber right now. I am about to harvest bacon, eggplant very soon, even papaya, even long beans.
Oh, wow.
So the amazing thing that I have come and learned is that because before, I always, the Agchem, Manda always advised me, try to use lime. And then I don't want to hear about lime. But today I've seen what lime has done. Like long beans, I have long beans. I have a good harvest during this rainy season. So right now I have nothing in Nabitu. I'm having only long beans and cucumber. Yeah, that's something. Yeah.
Next week, the discussion with the farmers of Nabitu continues. The Fiji Crop and Livestock Council also join us to tell us more about the assistance they can provide to the farmers of Fiji, and the farmers get to share their thoughts. If you're interested in purchasing any of the mentioned products, you can visit the following Agchem distributors. Contact Agchem on the following numbers. You could even visit them in person. They're located on Wailanda Road in Lami.